Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries has launched a pilot program for soyabean, corn, and black-eyed peas. I love black-eyed peas. Production with a planting exercise at Southern Main Road, Caroni. Caroni closed down. Anyhow, the program targets increased domestic production, reduced food imports, and support for food and nutrition. You see, I mean, as much as provision is good, Rowley was only pushing Ghana yam as though we don't have yam here in Trinidad and Tobago. But anyhow, back to the report. It forms part of a shift toward a production-based agricultural approach, which is really important, people. Diversification, investing into agriculture, self-sustainability. Being self-sufficient with food is very important from all countries. Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Ravi Ratiram, said the initiative focuses on reducing reliance on imports and increasing local output. What do you have to do, Minister, is ensure that the cost for production is reduced so that the prices of these food items will be cheaper in the supermarkets and, of course, in the markets. He said the program aims to move the sector forward towards production and supply. The pilot will begin with small-scale cultivation and expand based on results. You don't want to just put a whole set of money into something and then it just flop. FLOP, I said. The ministry said this approach will guide planning and limit financial risk. Don't go anywhere. More local, regional, and international news up next. Minister of Education, Dr. Michael Dowlath, says the government is planning to reintroduce agricultural science as a component of the science curriculum in schools across Trinidad and Tobago. I remember studying that, I think, in Form 2 in San Grande Educational Institute, Mr. Rodney's school. That school, the best private secondary school in the whole of San Grande. It was a nice subject, huh? He was speaking, but didn't have it in Form 5 back in those days. He was speaking at the launch of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries pilot program for soyabean, corn, and black-eyed peas production on Thursday.
We are looking at the Ministry of Education, over 850 schools, to reintroduce that school garden project. Wherever there are schools with land that's available, we are looking to ensure that our over 300,000 students are reintroduced to this idea of sustainable food security for our nation. For the schools without land, the Minister of Agriculture has indicated that we will be introducing the grow box technology. And so as we face this global reality, as indicated by our Minister of Trade, our food import bill exceeding $6 billion. This particular initiative reflects a clear and necessary shift, one that prioritizes local production, innovation, and sustainability. So in our education system, we are looking to integrate into the national mindset, not just for the use by our National School Dietary Services, our school feeding program, but we are looking to reintroduce, especially on our primary school system, the agricultural science as a component of the science curriculum for that continuous assessment component of the curriculum. And so we recognize that agriculture has a significant intersect with education because our local farmers produce and feed our nation.
A multi-agency operation at sea on Wednesday night ended with a safe rescue of a 73-year-old kidnapped victim and the arrest of 11 suspects after police foiled an apparent plan to smuggle the woman out of Trinidad and Tobago and into Venezuela. The kidnapping took place just after 7 p.m. on Wednesday evening as a 73-year-old Tara Polia was inside the garage of a San Juan home. Four men approached her, forcing her into a waiting vehicle and sped off. By midnight, police said the kidnappers placed the victim aboard a vessel attempting to take her out of the country to nearby Venezuela. But Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara said, acting on radar intelligence, not the Tobago radar, our own radar intelligence, the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard intercepted the boat approximately 1 nautical mile off the north coast, ending the escape attempt. The police service later confirmed that on board the vessel were 6 male Venezuelan nationals and 2 male TNT nationals. So you see, you want to blame the Venezuelans alone. No, it's the Trinidadians and them that most likely conspired this whole thing. Most along with the Venezuelans are not saying no. But you know everything. Everybody just want to blame the Venezuelans as well. I don't say this often, but good job, officers. This is really, really wonderful, impressive. You don't hear it. It doesn't happen often, anyhow you take it. This was really good news. Regional news up next.
For Friday, March 27, 2026, Trinidad and Tobago can expect generally sunny and breezy conditions, though a few partly cloudy spells will bring isolated showers, mostly affecting western and hilly areas. There is a low 30% chance of an isolated, potentially heavy shower, especially in southwest Trinidad. Conditions: sunny and breezy, isolated showers mainly over western and hilly areas. High temperature, 32 C in Trinidad, 31 C in Tobago. Low temperature, 23 C to 24 C. Rain chance, low 30%, chance of a heavy shower in southwest Trinidad. Seas, moderate, waves 1.5 to 2.0 meters in open waters, below 1.0 meter in sheltered areas. Nighttime, mostly fair and cool, with a slight chance of a shower over Tobago after midnight.
Member of Parliament for North Leeward and Minister of Tourism, Dr. Kishore Shallow, said the conversation must continue with the people as the government works to foster a more inclusive culture, ensuring that every Vincentian feels part of the changes in how the government operates. Speaking on NBC Radio yesterday, Dr. Shallow described his first 100 days in office as seamless, noting that his administrative background allowed him to transition smoothly into his role as Minister of Tourism. Yes, people, the new regime in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is doing an exceptional job right now. All I'm hoping and praying for is that they will move away from the tribal sorts of concepts, that anti-colonial type of concept and way of thinking, and embrace Western civilization completely. Embrace conservative styles of governance, capitalism, and so forth. Recognize America as your greatest trading partner, and you will be on the right path to reaching first world status one of these blessed days.
It's really just another, task, another mission for me in terms of I'm always focused on, what the purpose of, what's my purpose here. And my purpose is to elevate, in this particular role, is to elevate our tourism product, elevate St. Vincent and Grenadines. In the early stages of any new administrative role, and you have to take some time to, ascertain, information, get, understand the culture, understand, the different policies that exist, understand the principles, and so on. And that takes time, naturally. You could accelerate it, but it still will take time, because what you want to do is, when you're making key decisions, you want to be well informed. Is looking at where we are as a country, our tourism product is nowhere as mature as it should be. And I think one of my key roles is to ensure that we get to that point of maturity as a tourism destination, so that we could compete with our neighboring islands and even internationally. Because I would say that we are quite ripe for development and to be at our very peak. But it will take some, it will still take some effort, and it starts with everyone understanding what role, they have to play in order for us to get to that ultimate goal.
Defending the government's continued support for the sugar industry in Guyana. Just imagine he has to defend that. What do you want to do? Shut it down like how Rowley shut it down? No, Manning shut it down here in Trinidad. President Dr. Irfan Ali on Thursday reminded people, or the public, or the media, that it was the People's Progressive Party Civics Administration throughout the years that has stood firmly with workers across the sector, resuscitating production and supporting communities that were once left in economic peril under the former regimes, under the PNM brothers in Guyana. Business executive Debbie Hughes has been appointed to chair Barbados Electoral and Boundaries Commission, EBC, in Barbados, and has pledged to prioritize electoral reform when the board convenes for the first time since February's general election. Well, they decide to reform it after the elections. Well, they didn't do it before the elections. I just asking questions, people can answer. Those that watch me from Barbados, tell me why does the government wait until after elections to do these reforms in the EBC way? Bahamas Prime Minister Philip Davis is advising the voting public to register before Easter, with rumors of a May election and a possibility of the bell being rung soon. The Prime Minister is not outrightly denying any claims surrounding the recalling of the election, saying the people are reading the tea leaves. So let's see what's going to be the results in Bahamas. Will people give this Prime Minister another term in office, or give the other political party a chance to govern and probably carry Bahamas forward at a higher level or standard of living?
Try to get registered before Easter. I'm transparent, and people are reading the tea leaves. And they're reading the tea leaves, they should be able to duck what is happening.
International news now. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth doing an exceptional job, really wonderful job. Fox News should be proud of him. Calls out the dishonest media for its coverage of the war in Iran. You're either informing the American people of the truth or you're not. And of course, we know that what the American media, the far left radical media, and even locally here, the Kakash media in Trinidad and Tobago, are only pushing fear-mongering instead, an anti-American and anti-Israel rhetoric. He went on to say, behind every headline you write, there's a helicopter crew in the air. And behind every news banner you write, there's a battalion on the move. And behind every fake news story, there's an F-35 pilot executing a dangerous mission, trying to preserve democracy in America. Because if Iran was to take over America, what was going to happen? If Iran was to be able to attack America and destroy the American leadership, you think what's going to happen? They're going to enforce Sharia law. And you've been hearing it for years that the Iranians and those in their neighboring countries and in Gaza and in Palestine, the West Bank, which is really Judea and Samaria, chanting death to Israel and death to America. What you feel that means? That's not ideological alone. They literally want to conquer both America and Israel. So it is about defending democracy, people, and also trying to give Iranians the opportunity to restore democracy in their country as well.
You're either informing the American people of the truth or you're not. Because I hear it from my people every day. Behind every headline you write, there's a helicopter crew in the air. And behind every news banner you write, there's a battalion on the move. And behind every fake news story, there's an F-35 pilot executing a dangerous mission. My message to the media is get it right.
Just visiting, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is returning next month to New Hampshire, the state that for a century has held the first primary in the race for the White House. Clinton, who has recently dismissed any idea of running for president for a third time, will headline the New Hampshire Democratic Party's annual spring fundraiser dinner. They should let her do it. Let her try to run for president again in 2028. Give Republicans an even greater chance of winning. That would be wonderful. Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived in France on Friday to attend the G7 foreign ministers meeting, where he will deliver a clear message on U.S. priorities for the ongoing war in Iran. In the days leading up to the meeting, other members have taken markedly different approaches to the war. Nearly all of Washington's partners, Britain, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan, have reacted cautiously to the U.S.-Israeli military campaign and declined to participate in offensive operations, even as they condemn Iranian actions, especially, I'm sure, the actions that they're talking about is attacking, the Iranians are attacking their own allies in the Middle East, Qatar, of all places. Before departing on Thursday, Rubio signaled a defiant approach to the talks. I don't work for France or Germany or Japan. The people I'm interested in making happy are the people of the United States of America, he went on to say. I work for them, he said in a video posted on X. The divergence has drawn frustration from President Donald Trump, who has pressed allies to contribute more, particularly in securing key maritime routes, such as the Strait of Hormuz. While some countries have signaled a willingness to support defensive or maritime security efforts, they have stopped short of joining direct military strikes, and yet they will want to reap the benefits, passing freely and safely in the Strait of Hormuz. But they didn't do one thing to help America and Israel. That's how bold-faced the leaders of the world are nowadays. After 3 months in jail, ousted Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro appeared thinner and grayer, but still in command, as he appeared in federal court in Manhattan for a status conference on Thursday. Judge Alvin Hellerstein said he would not dismiss the narco-terrorism and other charges Maduro faces, but appeared to wrestle with how to assure Maduro had access to sufficient counsel. The defense argued the case must be tossed because the Treasury Department had not given the government of Venezuela a special license to fund Maduro's defense with funds subject to U.S. sanctions. The funds were the sanction, I wonder why it is you must be able to access it. No. I hope justice is served and that the former president of Venezuela stands the consequences for his various, multiple, numerous actions that even affected his own people in Venezuela. Now for the interesting fact segment, a new wearable wristband is revolutionizing how we interact with technology by translating human wrist movements into robotic actions. This innovative device uses advanced sensors to capture muscle signals, allowing users to control robotic arms or digital interfaces with simple, intuitive gestures. These were things we only saw in science fiction, sci-fi movies and TV shows a long time, Star Trek and Stargate and so forth, This breakthrough bridge between humans and machines offers incredible potential for industrial automation and prosthetics. By mapping complex motor patterns into precise commands, the system enables seamless real-time operation. It represents a significant leap forward in making robotic control more accessible and responsive. And I will add, it shows you how close we are to the rise of the Antichrist. As AI and robotics continue to merge, wearable tech like this wristband will redefine our daily tasks. The technology promises to enhance productivity and assist those with limited mobility.
Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News Travel Adventures. Tomales Bay, California, is a scenic 15-mile coastal inlet located 1 hour north of San Francisco in Marin County. Known for its calm, sheltered waters and world-renowned fresh oysters, this area is a serene destination for kayaking, hiking in Tomales Bay State Park, and exploring rustic coastal villages like Point Reyes Station. Oysters and dining, renowned for its sustainable aquaculture, visitors can visit Hog Island Oyster Company or the Tomales Bay Oyster Company to shuck their own oysters. Outdoor adventure, the bay is protected from wind, offering ideal conditions for kayaking, paddleboarding, and boating, particularly along the western shore. Tomales Bay State Park features calm, sandy beaches like Heart's Desire Beach and Shell Beach, perfect for family-friendly swimming, picnicking, and hiking through pine forests. Wildlife viewing, the bay is a protected ecological reserve, rich in birdlife including pelicans and sandpipers. Nearby, the Tomales Point Trail offers views of herds of Tule elk. Charming towns, visit Point Reyes Station for local food, including Cowgirl Creamery, and Nick's Cove in Marshall for waterfront dining and lodging. Best time to visit. The bay is beautiful year-round, but summer and fall offer the best weather for water activities, whereas winter-spring is ideal for bird watching and hiking. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'll see you again tomorrow as our journey around the world continues.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's headline news. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.